highest point in Brooklyn here in Greenwood Heights, but 3 blocks down the hill, the neighborhood is eerily quiet, having been evacuated this afternoon. We just came back from a small hurricane party where I had a couple dark and stormies and embraced to tell you what the next 24 hours are going to be like. Irene's outer arms are now draped over New York's shoulders, like a guy you hardly know acting inappropriately chummy, and you just know anything you do with him is going to end in tears. Bands of heavy rain are here, but not much wind, yet. And now that it's here, we know what it is going to do. Around 2 a.m., the heart of the storm will begin to pass over us. It will be noisy, and it will continue for about 12 to 15 hours, dropping about a foot of rain. At 10 p.m. here in Brooklyn, we already are starting to get basement flooding. Even if the winds dip below the hurricane threshold, the amount of moisture in the ground and the length of time this massive storm will be blowing means trees will be more likely to be knocked down. Sustained winds will pick up to about 65 miles per hour by 8 a.m. and about 75 by noon, with gusts up to 90 miles per hour. That's down from what most people had initially thought. But another thing people did not anticipate was just how humongous this thing would grow. It now reaches from Georgia to Canada. That's 1,500 miles across. That unprecedented size creates the energy for a storm surge beyond the Category 1 hurricane level. A storm surge is not just a big wave. It's a sudden rise in sea level ahead of and during the storm. It's created by the vacuum of the storm itself, which stretches the sea upward, and the shoving force of a huge object riding over the ocean. There will be 2 distinct surges, one at 8 a.m. of a few feet, and a second one at 1 p.m. This is the more serious one, coinciding with a high tide, and will reach 6 inches below the lip of the lower Manhattan storm wall. New Jersey, the Rockaways, and Long Island will be hit with 15 to 20-foot waves on top of that surge. New York Harbor is relatively protected, so the waves will be closer to 5 to 10 feet. This means there is the potential of waves 9.5 feet passing over the Battery. Con Edison, and that includes other low-lying areas around the city. Con Edison will announce at 8 a.m. where they plan to preemptively shut off power. If they turn the power off before the largely underground grid is inundated, they will prevent systemic damage and be able to restore power more quickly. It's kind of like if you know you're going to spill a huge glass of water into your computer, if you know ahead of time, it would be good to turn the computer off first. There is also a remote chance that subways will be overtopped, which is bad because this is not just water, it's seawater, which is corrosive and would demolish signals. If that were to happen, it could take the MTA a long time to get the trains rolling again. So that's all we have right now. It will not be as bad as had been earlier expected, but it's still going to be pretty bad. We'll keep you up to date as things change.